Hello, and welcome to Leader with Soul. My name is Alberto and I will be your host. Leader with Soul is about finding true leadership in times of turmoil. This first episode was written in two parts back at the beginning of 2020. I find it as relevant today as it was then. Enjoy it. I recently published a series of articles explaining how a municipal budget works. Do not worry, this blog is not about budget or technical information. Rather, I have been thinking of the different reactions to the information I provided and how surprising some of those reactions have been. The information was read 4,000 times, and the feedback has been mostly positive and even encouraging, to the point that I will write more themed articles on municipal government operations and issues to make the information as simple as possible. However, there are groups of people that hang on to even the slightest way to find a negative, even in the positive, and this is what my reflection has been in the last little while. I have written on the deterioration of public discourse before, but I think things are getting worse and not better, and something needs to be done and things need to change. Just recently, I facilitated a workshop between the council I work for and senior staff to help council review its vision for the community. I was surprised and pleased by the level of collaboration and energy in the room, and much was accomplished in the 5 hours we were together. All council members recognized the need for balance and empathy. They all acknowledge that an extreme new reality of black and white with no room for middle ground is creating challenges and virulent effect between people and even among friends. Why is this happening? Why are people becoming so selfish? Or even more, is there a way to change this and return to a balance of decency and mutual acceptance and respect? I don't think I have enough room to explore all those questions at once, but maybe I can try to offer some insight, hoping to find some possible solutions for a better future. In a recent article, Dr. Jeffrey Garrett, former dean at the Wharton School, stated, "It is increasingly clear that we are living in an era characterized by unprecedented uncertainty." And then he goes on to define the three main characteristics of this status of things. 1. Everything is unpredictable. There is no longer an ability to pinpoint what the future holds because the variables have increased exponentially. Number 2, everything is faster. Technology has created this way of life and expectations that all needs to happen now. And number 3, everything is questionable. On this, Dr. Garrett states, there are no facts, only parallel universes of alternate realities. Fake news, deep fakes, and the undermining of truth and facts are disturbing and profound realities. MSNBC and Fox News report on the same events but share essentially no common information. What Bill Clinton and Tony Blair considered the vital center of politics and society is a vacuum today. Close quote. If I relate all this to my local experience, I easily recognize all of it in my community as well. Does this mean that we stop leading and telling our story just because others will try to tell theirs? Even if I fake and manipulate public opinion to make their point, I say a resounding no. This is the time to build truer and more ethical leadership based on our human experience. These times call for real people to be leaders. As Dr. Garrett puts it, the time of granitic, heroic leaders who take on the battle from a position of earned moral superiority with little room for introspection and emotions is long gone. We need leaders that are close to the people because they are like them and they're not afraid to show it. In other words, we need leaders to be real. But how? All of this uncertainty makes leadership more important than ever. But how can anyone lead when no one knows what will happen next, nor does anyone agree on how to unite us to move forward? A couple of months ago, I wrote about 3 actions that we can all take now to make a difference in our life and that of those around us. 1. Be an example. True leadership always comes from walking the talk. As people around us look for humanity and relatedness, we have an opportunity to exercise integrity in the moment of choice that will be noticed as we live it. Number 2, be honest. As people observe our uncompromising behavior, they will begin to model theirs after it. And number 3, be vulnerable, which means be human. We make mistakes. Acknowledge this and move on. People will appreciate when we are sincere in our admissions. When we put these 3 actions and live them together, we are sending a positive signal that hope is not all lost. Dr. Garrett outlines 3 other actions that I find complementary as well. Be humble, be open, and be committed. They work too, but the message here is do something and do it now. The world will be a much better place because of us if we work together, not against each other. In the word of a wise leader, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Things have changed. Only less than 2 months ago, I also wrote about the challenges of today's human nature and how difficult it has become to communicate. At that time, the novel coronavirus or COVID-19 was scourging China and a few other Asian countries. And then, a few days after my article, all hell broke loose. Today, I'm in my home office trying to stay safe from this new plague, which as of today has infected millions and millions of people and killed. This is not the first, nor will be the last time a new virus or a bacterium has brought havoc to the world. The Spanish flu of 1918 is a scorching example of this. Ebola, which has a mortality rate of 52% of those infected, happened only a few years ago. Ebola is not new, but it is real and lethal as well. They say that COVID-19 has a much higher mortality rate than the flu, so we need to be careful and find ways to fight back. However, we all know this. You don't need another article to tell you what thousands of articles have already told us. What I wish to talk about is the amazing effect on humanity all this is having. One that makes me say again, strong and clear, hope never dies. Humans are very resilient, and this too shall pass. But how we react to this is what is going to make and is making a difference. Social, physical distancing and stay-home policies have changed the way we live, but have also opened hearts in a way that is unprecedented, at least in the last few years. True, we still have those who find nothing better to do than complain about everything and anything. But the vast majority of the people in the world are uniting in efforts of solidarity and goodness that make my heart melt. Italians, in a nation ravaged by infection and death, led the way with singing and family picnics from balconies. Solidarity there has increased exponentially. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints also proclaimed a day of fasting and prayer on Good Friday in 2020 to alleviate the pandemic, but also to ask for protection of healthcare workers, a reboot of the economy, and the return of a normal life. Millions have responded to the invitation from Russell M. Nelson, the president of that church. And of those millions, hundreds of thousands are people from different faiths and philosophies: Muslims, Catholic, atheists, agnostics, Buddhists, and many, many others. Today, then, I wish to invite you to look up and consider three things again. Be positive. This will not last forever, and the cure has been found. Hope and faith in our future can only be good for us. As we think of this, we can also rejoice in the good things we have had throughout our lives and take solace in the fact that invariably, if we stick together, we will overcome anything, like we did in the past. Richard L. Evans once said, "Don't let life discourage you. Everyone who got where he is had to begin where he was." Be grateful. Gratitude is the highest degree of selflessness. It makes us happier and helps us see things through a very different lens. In fact, a lens of solidarity and a lens of belonging. If we show our gratitude, we create an attitude of being our best. William Arthur Ward said, "Gratitude can transform common days into Thanksgivings, turn routine jobs into joy, and change ordinary opportunities into blessings." And finally, be patient. We don't know when this will be over, but we need to recognize that there will be an end at some point. In an era of instant gratification, it is difficult to cultivate patience. But by being patient, we will learn the art of appreciating life and the ability to overcome challenges in our life. There is an old Italian proverb that says, "He who walks slow remains healthy and goes far." Now, I know there will be days when we feel down and discouraged. However, I promise you that if you keep focused on the light at the end of the tunnel, not only will the darkness around you slowly fade, but the light will become stronger and stronger. Stay safe.